Hey, good morning, everyone. I had made a quick video about how to use the new mod discovery feature in Beacon, but I wanted to kind of remake that video in order to add just a little bit more detail and then be able to share it more effectively with new users. So if you have the Steam version of Arc and you use mods and you want to add the mod content to Beacon, there's a new feature that was added I don't know, about a month and a half ago called Mod Discovery. Uh, it was in beta at first and it worked okay, and then it released and it turned out that there was some problems, so it was disabled for a while. So if you tried this before and it didn't have success, I would try it again at this stage. But essentially, what it does is it creates a local simulated server, and it loads up the mod, and it uses something called Data Dumper, which is a mod some user had made at some point, which is no longer being updated, but it does exist and is open for use. And Techler created a feature called Mod Discovery, where it will generate a server, install the mod on the server, and then use the Data Dumper mod to extract information out of the mod, and then it will essentially translate that into usable content for Beacon. So it's a really, really, really cool feature. It's probably the most impressive feature for Arc that I've ever seen, just because of the level of detail that Beacon already has, and just to be able to just say, okay, not only do you have the option to add mod content, you can actually do so automatically in many cases. It doesn't always work. But anyhow, I just wanted to make a quick video on how to do it. So the first thing you're going to need is the Steam ID of the mod that you want. So if you go to the workshop page for the mod, sometimes the author will list it in the listing here. If not, it's always available after this ID equals number. Sometimes it's the end of the URL, sometimes there's a little bit after it. And basically, you're going to need to copy paste that in a minute. Before we get to that, let's talk about how to do it. So if you go in Beacon, and what you want to do is you want to hit this blueprints button up top, and you'll see a button here that says discover mods. And this is really simple to do. If you haven't done it yet and you have a custom installation location of Steam or your games from Steam, first you'll need to find your Arc path, which is super easy to find. And I'll show you how to do that too, just in case. So if you go into Steam and you find Arc on your list here, and right click, say properties, and then go to local files and then hit browse, and it's going to open up your file explorer and it's going to take you right to that folder. In order to get that path really easy, if you just click up in the section here that has the folder structure, it'll put it in a like a direct file location type mode, and you can just copy paste that. And then we'll close this out, and then we'll go into Beacon, and you just paste it right here. You might not have to do that, depending on your installation. The next thing you do is you grab that mod ID that we talked about, and you paste it here. You can add additional mod IDs. You can run it for more than one mod at a time. Obviously, running the same one twice isn't going to help, and if the mod's already built into Beacon, it will say, hey, this is already built into Beacon, take that one off here. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to hit OK, and it's going to say building server, and before you know it, a little pop-up for Arc, the Arc logo will show up, and it's going to bring up, it'll look like a command line prompt, like DOS, and it's just going to start doing its thing. And you don't touch anything. You don't even read what it says, because it doesn't mean anything to you. There may be errors that come up on here. They're not relevant. Just let it do its thing. And once you see that this Arc logo is gone, or beacon pops up that it's done, depending on what you're doing at the time, you'll know that it's ready, and it's going to give you a summary of what it found, if anything. It doesn't work for every mod. It works for many mods. There's some mods that they're not made in such a way that it's able to decipher what's going on, but in many cases it does. And so we're just going to let this execute for now, and when it's finished, we'll go ahead and go through the next steps of what happens. And just a little side note, you don't have to wait for this. You can go back into Beacon and do your thing, or you could go on the internet, or you can go into Discord, or whatever you want to do. Just keep an eye out for when this disappears, and then we'll be back when that happens. Just as a quick note, some of the errors you might see to ignore would include things like what was shown above. Now it's too late. Now it's actually showing everything else. But yeah, like I said, just ignore all this stuff for now. Wait till the pop-up at the end. Okay, so now my Arc window is gone. That means it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into Beacon. And here's a pop-up that happened. It said automatic mod discovery finished. It added one new mod that had 11 blueprints. So I'm going to hit OK. So now, basically, it adds it to your mod list here automatically when it finds stuff. This one was Arc Titanium's collection. It found these creatures and engrams that can now be added to your game. The last thing you have to do before you could do that, though, is if you go back into your project, you're going to need to hit mods and then go to the custom tab, and then you can enable the mod and hit OK. And now you should be able to use that content. I think there was something about nuclear fish or something. Let's see if I can find it. Atomic fish meat. See, so now it's in here. Same thing with the creatures. Maybe it wouldn't be here. Maybe it would be, I don't know. Let's try to add to the beaches. See if we can find it here. Yeah. Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla. So now my Arc server has Mecha Godzilla spawning on the beach, which is a bad idea. Just all the way around, by the way. Beaches have a lot of spawn points. It's going to be a lot of Godzillas. But anyhow, yeah, I hope that helps someone out. Like I said, I'm really excited about the feature. I think that it's brilliant, and Tekla really continues to impress and just slay with Beacon. Is the things he comes up with is just, it's really unheard of to have anywhere near kind of passion about doing things for a game that Tekla has done. And there are other major contributors to Arc as well. I don't want to say that he's the only one, but in terms of server config, there is no one like Tekla. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.